There comes a moment in every man's life when the mirror stops lying, when the reflection staring back at you isn't your friend, but your greatest critic. You see the truth, raw, uncomfortable, undeniable. The world doesn't care about your pain, your excuses, or the reasons you couldn't make it happen. It only bows to results. You can cry about your situation, blame others, or hide behind your circumstances, but understand this: the world respects strength, not weakness. Every victory is written by those who refused to surrender when everything was falling apart. Power commands attention, excuses invite pity, and pity is the lowest form of energy on earth. Life doesn't reward the one who talks about what could have been. It rewards the one who fights, bleeds, and still stands tall. The strong become examples. The weak become stories of regret. You either dominate your emotions or they dominate you. You either find a way or die trying. That's the reality. No one's coming to save you. No one's impressed by your struggle until you conquer it. The world bows only to strength, physical, mental, and spiritual. Become unbreakable, and the world will remember your name. Strength earns respect. Excuses breed contempt. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your reasons, your setbacks, or your pain. It only measures you by what you produce, by what you overcome, by what you become. Excuses are the currency of the weak, and weakness never bought anyone respect. People may nod with sympathy when you tell them your problems, but deep inside, they're judging you. They see whether you stand tall or crumble. They don't admire those who speak of what went wrong. They admire those who rise despite everything falling apart. The man who lifts himself out of chaos earns a kind of respect that silence cannot erase. The one who complains earns nothing but pity, and pity is poison to the soul. Strength is not just muscle or dominance. It's a presence, a certainty, a vibration that tells the world you will not bend. It's the refusal to let your circumstances dictate your identity. When life hits, strength doesn't negotiate. It doesn't ask, why me? It says, try harder. Excuses, on the other hand, are the language of surrender. They sound innocent at first. I didn't have time. I wasn't ready. They didn't support me. But every time you use one, you trade a piece of your potential for comfort. Excuses are self-made lies you tell yourself to justify inaction. They make you feel safe for a moment, but they destroy you in the long run. The world sees it. It senses the difference between the one who stands in the storm and the one who hides behind reasons. Strength doesn't complain, it conquers. The one who refuses to make excuses grows into something unshakable. People respect that energy because it represents what they secretly wish they had. Strength isn't arrogance. It's self-command. It's not about looking powerful. It's about being powerful when everything in you wants to quit. That's where respect is born. In the invisible moments where you could have chosen to give up but didn't. Those moments shape your aura, your confidence, your destiny. Excuses, however, rot your character from within. They rob you of your hunger and make you ordinary. And the world never celebrates ordinary. You see, every person who ever earned respect did so because they took responsibility. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't beg for understanding. They stood up, carried the weight, and faced their demons head on. When you live with that kind of discipline, people may not always like you, but they will always respect you because strength commands recognition. It's undeniable. You walk differently, you talk differently, you move through the world with intent. Excuses make you small, invisible, forgettable. They trap you in mediocrity while convincing you it's not your fault. But everything is your responsibility. Your progress, your growth, your outcome. The strong understand that the game of life doesn't care about fairness. The world doesn't stop spinning because you're tired. It doesn't adjust its pace to match your feelings. It rewards those who adapt, those who keep moving when others freeze. That's why strength is respected. It's rare. It's proof that you've mastered yourself, that you've risen above the noise. The weak find reasons, the strong find solutions. When you refuse to make excuses, you separate yourself from the herd. You become the example. You stop being another voice in the crowd and become the one the crowd listens to. People follow those who endure, not those who explain. Every excuse you make chips away at your credibility. Every moment you stand firm adds to your legend. Think of the strongest people you've ever known. They weren't born that way. They were built through hardship, rejection, and failure. but they refused to let excuses soften them. They used every setback as steel for their soul. That's why their words carry weight, because their actions back them up. In a world full of talkers, strength speaks silently. It doesn't need validation. It creates its own. Excuses are cheap, but strength is expensive. It costs late nights, sacrifices, broken pride, and endless effort. Yet, the price is worth it, because when you walk in strength, the world feels it. Doors open, people listen, opportunities appear, not because luck favors you, but because strength attracts respect like gravity. When you live with excuses, you repel power. People don't want to invest in weakness. They may sympathize, but they won't follow. But show them discipline, consistency, and fire, and they'll align with you. Respect is not given. It's earned through resilience. You can't buy it. You can't fake it. You either embody it or you don't. Strength isn't loud, but it's unforgettable. Excuses might make you feel better temporarily, but they build a life you'll regret. One day you'll look back and realize that every excuse was a step away from greatness. Every justification was a chain holding you down. The strong cut those chains early. They take ownership of everything. Their pain, their losses, their journey. They face reality and bend it to their will. That's why the world respects them. Because strength doesn't just win, it transforms, it commands, it inspires, it's magnetic. It doesn't need to scream to be seen. It stands firm while others fall apart. And in that silence, respect is born. So stop explaining your limitations. Stop defending your comfort zone. The world isn't judging your struggles, it's watching your response. When you rise, it takes notice. When you conquer, it bows. Strength earns respect because it's rare, it's pure, and it's proof that the human spirit is unstoppable. Excuses earn contempt because they waste what could have been great. Choose strength. Choose the harder path. Because when you do, you won't need to demand respect. The world will give it to you without a word. Discipline and consistency are the real forms of power. They are the silent forces that separate those who dream from those who achieve. Most people think power comes from talent, wealth, or luck, but real power is forged in the unseen hours, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the choices you make when comfort whispers your name. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's repetition. It's doing what you said you do long after the feeling of motivation has died. It's waking up when your body wants to rest. It's showing up when your mind wants to quit. It's sacrificing ease for excellence. But undisciplined crave results but avoid responsibility. They talk about goals, but they never grind long enough to reach them. The disciplined, on the other hand, don't rely on feelings, they rely on structure. They understand that emotion is temporary, but consistency builds empires. Every day, every action, every repetition is a brick in the fortress of success. Real power is not loud. It doesn't shout about how strong it is. It's quiet, controlled, unshakable. The one who can control himself can conquer anything. Because if you can't command yourself, you'll always be a servant to your impulses. Discipline is the ability to do what must be done even when every part of you resists. It's the strength to follow through without applause, to push forward without reassurance. Consistency is its twin. It's the daily execution of your vision even when progress feels invisible. Together, they form the unbreakable combination that builds greatness. Discipline gives you the plan, consistency gives it life. Without them, ambition dies in the noise of excuses. You can have all the talent in the world, but without discipline, it rots. You can have the best intentions, but without consistency, they fade into nothing. The people who rise above mediocrity aren't the smartest or the most gifted. They're the ones who stay the course. They outlast everyone else. Because consistency compounds. What starts as a simple routine turns into unstoppable momentum. Small actions done daily become unstoppable habits. Those habits shape destiny. Power doesn't come from bursts of effort. It comes from endurance, from doing what others won't for as long as it takes. The truth is, discipline feels like suffering in the beginning. It strips away your comfort, your laziness, your distractions. It demands sacrifice. It asks you to say no when everyone else is saying yes. But with time, discipline becomes freedom. Because when you master yourself, no one else controls you. You no longer depend on moods or motivation. You move because you've decided to move. That's power. The ability to act without permission, to stay locked in when others fall away. Consistency, too, is misunderstood. People want speed, not endurance. They want overnight success, not daily effort. But consistency is the slow fire that turns average men into legends. It doesn't promise instant results. It promises permanent ones. The man who shows up every day, regardless of how he feels, will always surpass the one who works hard only when it's convenient. Because consistency builds trust with yourself. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you become stronger. Each time you follow through, your confidence grows. Soon, you start believing in your ability to handle anything. That's real power, self-belief earned through proof, not words. Most people lose because they chase intensity instead of consistency. They go all in for a week, then quit when it gets hard. But real power lives in sustainability. It's not about how fast you start, it's about how long you last. The disciplined understand that results are not built in a day. They're built daily. They don't need excitement, they need direction. They don't need approval, they need progress. While others are waiting to feel ready, they're already executing. They know every rep, every page, every hour matters. They respect the process, not just the reward. And the process always pays those who stay loyal to it. Discipline gives your life structure. It transforms chaos into clarity. It takes you from wishing to working, from hoping to building. Without it, you drift. With it, you dominate. Consistency is what keeps the fire alive when motivation burns out. It's what keeps you climbing when the summit disappears in fog. It's not glamorous because it's repetitive, but repetition is where mastery lives. Every great athlete, every great entrepreneur, every great leader was built on boring routines. The magic isn't in the excitement, it's in the repetition. The world sees their glory, but not the countless unseen hours of discipline. That's the difference between wanting power and earning it. The powerful don't talk about their discipline, they live it. They train when others sleep, they plan when others party, and they execute when others doubt. They've built a rhythm that no distraction can break. That rhythm becomes their identity. There's a certain beauty in discipline. It's a rebellion against weakness. It's proof that you can control what others can't. When life gets chaotic, discipline gives you stability. When emotion blinds you, consistency gives you direction. Together, they keep you moving forward through storms, failures, and fatigue. And that's why they're the truest forms of power, because they make you unstoppable. You stop needing external motivation. You stop caring about the pace of others. You just keep moving, quietly, relentlessly, powerfully. One day, people will look at you and call you lucky. They'll see your results, but not your routine. They'll admire your strength, but never understand your discipline. Let them. Because you'll know the truth. Every ounce of progress came from the moments you refused to give up, the mornings you forced yourself to rise, the nights you stayed focused while the world slept. That's the kind of power no one can take from you. Discipline builds empires. Consistency keeps them standing. They are the invisible muscles of greatness, the foundations of legacy. Anyone can start, but only the disciplined finish. Anyone can try, but only the consistent succeed. So choose discipline over distraction. Choose consistency over comfort. Because in the end, your habits decide your future. And when you master them, you won't have to chase power. The world will see it in you. Pain is the price of greatness. Weakness is the cost of comfort. Every dream you've ever had, every vision that burns in your mind, comes with a price tag, and that price is pain. Not the kind of pain that breaks you, but the kind that builds you. The kind that strips away everything soft and small until all that's left is strength. You cannot be great without suffering because greatness demands transformation, and transformation always hurts. The truth most people avoid is that comfort is the silent killer of ambition. It seduces you, whispers that you deserve to rest, that you've done enough, that you can wait until tomorrow. But every time you choose comfort, you surrender a little more of your potential. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it breeds weakness, and weakness costs you everything you ever wanted. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher, your sculptor, your purifier. It reveals who you are when the masks fall off. It exposes your limits and then dares you to push beyond them. The strongest people you know didn't escape pain. They embraced it. They turned it into fuel. They understood that to evolve, they had to suffer with purpose. While others ran from struggle, they walked straight into it, knowing that every challenge carries the seed of strength. Every wound carries wisdom. Every failure is a lesson disguised as loss. The weak hide from this truth. They build lives that are safe, predictable, and small because they can't bear the discomfort of growth. But safety and greatness cannot coexist. The fire that refines you will also burn you, and only those willing to endure the flames become unbreakable. The path to greatness is lonely, brutal, and demanding. It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't pause for your excuses. It rewards those who show up bleeding, broken, and exhausted, but still moving. Pain tests your loyalty to your dreams. It asks, how badly do you want it? It separates those who merely wish from those who will do anything. Everyone wants to be great until they realize what greatness costs. You will lose people, you will be misunderstood, you will be doubted, rejected, and ridiculed. But if you can take that pain and use it instead of running from it, you will rise, because pain builds character and character builds destiny. Comfort builds dependency, and dependency breeds regret. Weakness feels easy, but it always comes with a hidden debt. The comfort that protects you now will betray you later. Every time you choose not to face discomfort, you trade long-term strength for short-term peace. You dull your edge. You silence your hunger. The body becomes soft, the mind becomes fragile, and the spirit becomes lazy. Weakness is not something that arrives overnight. It creeps in quietly through small compromises. Skipping one workout, ignoring one opportunity, choosing distraction over discipline. And before you know it, the fire inside you fades. Comfort numbs the soul. Pain, on the other hand, awakens it. It keeps you alive, alert, and hungry. Greatness is never about talent alone. It's about endurance. Can you keep going when it hurts? Can you stay focused when no one believes in you? Can you stay disciplined when results are invisible? Pain sharpens you into someone worthy of success. It teaches resilience, patience, and humility. It humbles your ego and builds your faith. When life hits you, pain is the hammer that forges your steel. The weak break under it. The strong are shaped by it. The reason some people stay average forever is because they never let pain do its work. They quit too soon, they hide behind comfort, and they never see what they could have become. You must understand that every breakthrough is preceded by a breakdown. Every victory comes after defeat. You cannot rise without falling, you cannot learn without failing, and you cannot grow without hurting. Pain is the price of entry for every level of life. The greater your goal, the greater your suffering. And that's not punishment, it's preparation. The struggle is what makes you fit to carry what you're asking for. You can't handle abundance if you've never endured lack. You can't lead if you've never served. You can't appreciate peace if you've never battled chaos. Pain teaches you gratitude. It gives meaning to your triumphs. Without it, success would be empty. Weakness, however, teaches nothing. It disguises itself as kindness to yourself, but it's betrayal in slow motion. The weak justify their stagnation by calling it self-care or balance, but deep down, they know it's fear. Fear of pain, fear of failure, fear of judgment. And that fear is what chains them to mediocrity. The comfortable never know what they could have been because they never push hard enough to find out. The painful path may be harsh, but it's honest. It shows you who you are. It strips away illusion and forces you to meet your real self, the one capable of more than you ever imagined. Pain is not permanent, but its lessons are. Every scar carries a story, every struggle a message. You'll look back one day and realize that the hardest moments were the ones that built you the most. They gave you vision. They taught you to endure. They made you stronger than anyone expected. Comfort never gives you that. Comfort keeps you the same. Pain transforms you. You can't be legendary if you avoid suffering. You can't inspire others if you've never been broken. To reach the top, you must be willing to bleed for it, to sacrifice sleep, to walk through fire with your head high. That's what greatness demands. That's what separates warriors from watchers. So stop running from pain. Chase it. Find it. Let it refine you. Because once you've suffered and survived, you become unstoppable. Pain builds a power that comfort can never imitate. It gives you confidence born from experience, not theory. When you've endured enough, you stop fearing anything. You've seen the darkness, you fought through it, and you've come out alive. That's greatness. Weakness will beg you to stay comfortable, to take the easy road, to protect yourself from struggle. But every time you listen, you shrink. You were not born to be comfortable. You were born to conquer. The pain you fear is the gatekeeper of the life you want. And when you finally face it, You'll understand the truth. Pain doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. It turns ordinary people into legends. So embrace it. Let it cut you, mold you, and strengthen you. Because the only thing more painful than growth is regret. And when you've paid the price of greatness, you'll realize it was worth every scar. The world doesn't hear your words. It sees your results. You can talk about your dreams, your goals, your plans, and your intentions all day long, but none of it matters until you turn it into reality. People are not inspired by what you say. They are moved by what you do. Words are cheap, but results are undeniable. You can post, preach, and promise, but until your actions produce something tangible, the world will not take you seriously. This is the harsh truth of life. No one is listening to your explanations. They are watching your execution. The world respects evidence, not effort. It doesn't care how hard you tried, how close you got, or how unfair it was. All it sees is whether you delivered or not. And in that moment, all your excuses vanish because results are the only language the world understands. You can't talk your way into success. You must earn it. Results speak louder than declarations. They don't need defending or explaining. They command respect on their own. People follow proof, not promises. They may smile at your words, but they believe your results. You can tell them you're disciplined, but if your life doesn't reflect it, they know you're lying. You can say you're hungry, but if your actions show laziness, your words become noise. Results are the mirror of truth. They expose your habits, your priorities, and your commitment. You can't fake them. You either have them or you don't. And that's why they hold power, because results never lie. The weak spend their lives talking about what they will do. They plan endlessly, dream constantly, and convince themselves that thinking about progress is the same as making progress. But talk doesn't move mountains. Work does. Every minute you spend explaining why you haven't succeeded is a minute someone else is building what you're only talking about. The world is filled with people who had potential but no proof. They had good intentions but no outcomes. And intentions, no matter how noble, change nothing until they manifest into results. The strong understand this. They don't announce their moves, they show them. They stay silent while others talk. And when the time comes, their results make all the noise they need. The truth is, words are temporary. People forget what you say, but they remember what you achieve. You can inspire others for a moment with speeches, but you can inspire them for a lifetime with results. When you win, you don't need to explain anything. When you succeed, your actions speak for you. Success silences doubt, shuts down criticism, and commands respect. The same people who ignored your words will celebrate your results. The same ones who doubted you will quote you. That's the irony of the world. It only believes when it sees proof. So, stop seeking validation through talk. Stop trying to convince people of your potential. Show them. Work in silence and let your results make the announcement. Results are built in solitude, not in conversation. While the talkers waste energy explaining why they will be great, the doers are out there creating greatness. Every result you produce becomes your voice, your reputation, your legacy. You can't buy credibility. You earn it through consistency and execution. When you produce, you don't need to beg for attention. It finds you. The world listens to results because they are the proof of discipline, sacrifice, and focus. And that's why so few people have them. Because real results require pain, patience, and persistence. They require you to go through seasons of doubt, struggle, and loneliness without the applause of others. Words can make people like you. Results make them respect you. Respect is not granted through charm. It's granted through accomplishment. When you become a person of results, people treat you differently. Your presence carries weight. Your voice has authority because you've earned it through proof. That's why the most powerful people don't argue. They demonstrate. They don't try to convince. They show. Their results speak for them louder than any speech could. Talkers crave recognition. Doers earn it. The difference between the two is simple. One spends time seeking approval. The other spends time building something undeniable. The world is not cruel. It's just honest. It rewards production, not promises. You can say all the right things, but if you don't deliver, you'll be forgotten. That's why discipline is everything. Discipline turns words into action, action into progress, and progress into results. And once you have results, no one can take them from you. They become your shield and your sword. When critics appear, your results defend you. When doubters mock you, your results silence them. You don't have to argue with those who question you. Just show them your work. Show them your transformation. Show them your growth. The difference between winners and talkers is proof. Winners understand that every day is a scoreboard. They don't care about opinions. They care about output. They know the only way to be respected is to produce something the world can't ignore. That's why they grind in private. That's why they stay consistent even when no one's watching. Because they know that when the results come, the world will listen. The world never doubts evidence. It might doubt your words, your dreams, even your potential. But when you show results, it has no choice but to acknowledge you. You must decide what you want to be remembered for, your words or your work. Do you want people to say, he talked about doing great things, or do you want them to say, he did them? Because one lives in noise and the other lives in legacy. Your results are your proof that you showed up when it was hard, that you stayed when it hurt, that you finished when others quit. They are the trophies of your resilience. They tell the story of your discipline. Words fade, but results endure. You can't argue with results. They're final, undeniable, and permanent. So stop wasting energy trying to sound impressive. Stop chasing validation through speech. Focus on creating something that speaks for you long after you're gone. Build, improve, execute. Let your silence be loud, your results be proof, and your success be your statement. Because in the end, the world doesn't care how much you said you'd do. It only cares about what you actually did. And when you produce real results, you won't need to convince anyone of your worth. They'll see it. They'll feel it. They'll respect it. Because words are heard for a moment, but results echo forever. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you fight for. Life doesn't hand out rewards for dreams, it hands them to those who bleed for them. Everyone wishes for success, for freedom, for greatness. But wishing doesn't change reality. You can wish all night, you can visualize all day, but without the courage to fight, nothing happens. The universe doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to effort. It respects sweat, sacrifice, and persistence. Too many people waste their energy dreaming instead of doing. They speak about what they want, but they never take the hits required to earn it. And when life pushes back, they crumble because they never built the strength to fight. Wishing is comfortable. Fighting is painful. But only one changes your life. When you truly want something, you must be willing to fight for it with everything you have, because the world owes you nothing. No one will come to give you the life you imagine. You have to take it. You have to wake up every day ready to battle through doubt, fear, and fatigue. You have to face the days when motivation dies and still move forward. You have to fight your own laziness, your distractions, your excuses. That's the real war, not with others, but within yourself. Every day you either win the battle with your mind or you lose it. Those who fight win, those who wish wait. And waiting kills more dreams than failure ever could. The truth is, wishing keeps you weak. It tricks you into thinking that wanting something badly is enough. It gives you the illusion of progress because you feel inspired. But inspiration without execution is nothing. It fades as fast as it comes. Fighting, on the other hand, builds momentum. It's not pretty. It's not glamorous. It's brutal, repetitive, and lonely. But every punch you throw, every step you take, makes you stronger. The pain you endure in the fight becomes the foundation of your power. The struggle is where you earn the right to have what you desire. Wishing costs nothing. Fighting costs everything. That's why most people never reach greatness. They're not willing to pay the price. You must understand that every goal, every dream, every success story you admire was paid for in blood, sweat, and failure. The people who made it didn't sit around wishing for a better life. They got up and fought for one. They worked when others rested. They believed when others doubted. They kept swinging when life hit back. The reason they stand out is because they refused to quit when it got hard. Everyone wants success until they realize how much pain it demands. The fight tests your resolve. It asks, do you really want this, or do you just like the idea of it? Most people only love the idea. They love the fantasy of success, but hate the process. The fighters, however, love both. They love the grind, the challenge, the climb, because they know that every struggle brings them closer to victory. Life rewards warriors, not wishers. It gives abundance to those who have the discipline to persist when everything in them screams to stop. When you fight, you prove to yourself that you're worthy. You earn self-respect. You build confidence not from words, but from action. Each time you push through resistance, you build proof that you can handle more. That's how real power grows, from the inside out. Wishing never gives you that strength because it keeps you passive. It keeps you waiting for circumstances to change instead of changing yourself. But when you fight, you stop waiting for permission. You stop hoping things will get easier. You take control. You become the one who decides what happens next. Every dream has a price, and life will make sure you pay it in full. It will test your patience, your consistency, and your courage. It will throw obstacles at you to see how much you want it. The ones who quit early weren't denied. They simply stopped fighting. Because the truth is, the battle never ends. Every level of success demands a new fight. You may win today, but tomorrow you start again. That's why you must fall in love with the struggle, not just the reward. The fight is what transforms you into the kind of person who can handle the dream when it finally arrives. Without the fight, you're not ready for the blessing. Wishing feels safe because it costs nothing but words. Fighting feels terrifying because it costs everything. Comfort, time, energy, pride. It exposes you. It forces you to face your weaknesses. But that's exactly what makes it powerful. You grow through the pain of the fight. Every battle teaches you something about yourself. It shows you your limits and then dares you to break them. And once you've been through enough fights, you stop fearing life. You stop fearing failure. Because you've learned that no matter how many times you fall, you can rise again. That's what fighters know. That's what wishers never learn. You cannot build a legacy on wishes. You can't feed your family with dreams. You can't inspire others with words you never lived. The only thing that matters is what you've earned through action. That's what the world respects. Results born from resilience. The strongest people aren't those who had the easiest paths. They're the ones who fought through storms, rejection, and pain, and kept going. They didn't wait for miracles. They created them. You have that same power. But it starts the moment you stop wishing and start fighting. It starts when you decide that no matter how long it takes, how hard it gets, or how many times you fail, you won't quit. Because fighters don't quit. They adapt, they rise, they overcome. So stop sitting around waiting for the perfect time. There will never be one. Stop wishing someone would believe in you. Believe in yourself enough to fight for it. Because no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to hand you the life you dream of. You must take it. You must earn it. You must fight for it with every breath, every ounce of focus, every bit of strength you have. And when it finally happens, when the dream you once wished for becomes your reality, you'll understand why the fight was worth it. You'll realize that everything you lost along the way, the comfort, the fear, the doubt, was nothing compared to what you gained: pride, strength, and freedom. The world belongs to those who fight for it. Wishes fade, warriors rise. So stop wishing for your life to change. Stand up and fight for it, because only then will you truly earn it.